You're listening to Samvani.
The title of this episode is Harshad Mehta, a brilliant trader or a thug of the capital market. The content of this episode of Samvani is compiled by Shweta Gohil, edited and presented by Dr. Hardik Joshi, and voice overed by Rashi Bakshi. Today's podcast is aimed towards discussing the Harshad Mehta scam. Harshad Mehta changed the way one looks at the stock market and how brokers trade. This report talks about who is Harshad Mehta, his work and life, how he used the banking system, how he created loopholes in the banking system, the transition from an ordinary broker to the big bull of this trading system, the initial stages of a scam which was primarily based on the loopholes of the Indian banking system, how he manipulated stocks by illegally obtaining money from several banks using fake bank receipts and created a cycle of fraud involving big banks like the State Bank of India and the National Housing Bank. Now let us know more about Harshad Mehta. Harshad Shantilal Mehta was born on 29th July 1954 at Paneli Moti, Rajkot in a Gujarati Jain family. His early childhood was spent in Kandivali, where his father was a small-time textile businessman. Harshad Mehta was an Indian stockbroker caught in a scandal beginning in 1992. Over a period of 10 years, beginning in 1980, he served in positions of increasing responsibility at a series of brokerage firms. By 1990, he had risen to a position of prominence in the Indian securities industry, with the media touting him as Amitabh Bachchan of the stock market. He actively started to trade in 1984. He, along with his brothers named Ashwin Mehta and Sudhir Mehta, formed their own company called Grow More Research and Asset Management Company, which gave investment services to its client. He further enhanced his business by becoming the broker of the Bombay Stock Exchange Company. He died of a massive heart attack in 2001 while the legal issues were still being litigated. Exploiting several loopholes in the banking system, Mehta and his associates siphoned of funds from interbank transactions and bought shares heavily at a premium across many segments, triggering a rise in the Sensex. His role is most famous for the Indian security scam in 1992. By the 1990s, Harshad Mehta had risen to such prominence in the stock market that he was known as the Amitabh Bachchan of the stock market. Terms such as the big bull and raging bull were regularly used in the reference to him. Now let us know about the weapons used by Harshad in the initial stages. First one among them is lobbying. In 1990, Harshad Mehta began entering into the market for purchasing stocks in colossal amounts and rapidly increasing in their prices. Some of the significant stocks which he dealt with were of Apollo Tyres, Reliance, Tata Iron and Steel Company, Videocon and Associated Cement Company. However, for his business, he used the method of lobbying to increase stock rates. Lobbying here means manipulating the stock market. For instance, to sell a share of Apollo Tyres of worth rupees 100, he produced news of the share as a tip stating that the target rate is of rupees 180 but purchase it at rupees 110. Initially, nobody pays attention to the tip as there are already thousands of tips floating in the market. Due to lobbying, the demand gets increased by the share, which increases the selling price to rupees 120. The general public now realizes that the initial price was rupees 110 has been crossed, and to not let it cross further, a massive number of people arise to buy that share, which again leads to the increase in the demand. As thousands of people have started investing in the share, the lobbying persons put all shares for selling, and due to the selling pressure, the market price crashes. This disturbs the fundamentals of the market, as the market should work purely on demand and supply basis. The second weapon is one company agenda. Harshad Mehta extensively targeted one company, Associated Cement Company. Initially, the Associated Cement Company used to be traded at rupees 200 per share. However, By the creation of artificial demand through lobbying and the tips, the rate of the share increased to rupees 9,000 per share in a very short period. People were astonished by such an increase in the price of the share that they even started investing their borrowed funds into it. The percentage return on investment of the share became about 45% high. This was termed as the bull phase, that is, the rising phase in the market. Now, the third weapon used by Harshad Mehta was the ready forward deal. Most of the times, the banks suffer from blockage of liquidity. The only possible option which the banks have in this situation is that they, for a very short period, give the government securities to another bank on loan. This was termed as ready forward deal. To make this deal with another bank, a broker has been appointed. The broker acts as a bridge between the two banks which are unknown to each other, and against this job he gets his commission. The whole settlement process of securities and payment is done through the broker as a mediator. Both the buying and selling banks never interrogated the broker to the identity of the other bank. Harshad Mehta took benefit of this loophole in the banking system and the time gap given to a broker. When he used to get the securities, for instance, from the selling bank for a few days until he finds a deal, in the meanwhile, he used to approach buying bank and makes a deal with it that they can give him the money and in return, he will find the seller of securities in a few days. Another loophole in this process was that the buying bank used to draw the check in his name. At one point in time, Harshad Mehta had the possession of both the securities as well as the money. The money which he had in possession was being used in the investment of stocks, and hence he managed his lobbying business. The fourth weapon used here is the fake bank receipts. The banks, after selling the securities and receiving money, used to produce a bank receipt which acted as an acknowledgement for the buying banks. Harshad Mehta's scam was so widely spread that he even started making fake bank receipts. For the making of fake bank receipts, he required the help of the employees of such a bank which was not backed by any government securities. Accordingly, he tied up with two banks, namely the Bank of Karad and the Mumbai Mercantile Cooperative Bank. The only loophole remained was upon the lender bank, who never realized that they always made the checks in the name of Harshad Mehta, who was merely a broker. Now is the exposure of the scam to the world. On 23rd April 1992, a journalist named Sucheta Dalal published an article about the Harshad Mehta scam in the Times of India. She was the first person who studied the work of this scam and exposed it in public. After that, the matter was looked into by the authorities, who declared the scam to be true. Once the fraud was exposed, though a lot of banks were left holding BRs which did not have any value, the banking system had been swindled of a whopping rupees 4,000 crores, which is equivalent to almost 250 billion US dollars in 2019. Moreover, the Sensex, which had drastically risen to 4,500 during the phase of scam, fell again to 2,500, which means that there was a loss of rupees 1 lakh crores in market capitalization. The scam came under scathing criticism in the Indian Parliament, leading to Mehta's eventual imprisonment. The scam's exposure led to the death of the chairman of Vijaya Bank, who reportedly committed suicide over the exposure. He was guilty of having issued checks to Mehta and knew the backlash of accusations he would have to face from the public. There were several legal actions followed. After the exposure of the scam, there was a raid conducted by the Income Tax Department at the house of Harshad Mehta, and several documents and certificates were seized. There were more than 600 civil suits along with 72 criminal offences against him. He was completely prohibited from the stock market by the court. His two brothers and all the other related persons were also not allowed in the stock market for a lifetime. On 9th November 1992, Harshad Mehta and his brothers were arrested by the Criminal Bureau of Investigation. He was convicted by the Bombay High Court and the Supreme Court of India for the financial scandal of rupees 4,999 crores. Out of 27 criminal charges against him, he was only convicted of 4 upon his death. However, his death remained a mystery. Some believed that he was murdered by an underworld nexus, but no such investigation ever happened. After 9 years of death of Harshad Mehta, the Income Tax Department and public sector banks have successfully recovered a significant portion of their claims emerging out of the security scam from his liquidated assets. The Supreme Court directed the custodian of the attached properties and assets of the Harshad Mehta Group in March 2011 to make payments of rupees 1,995 crores to the Income Tax Department and rupees 199 crores to the State Bank of India, making the two institutes two of the earliest claimants to recover their dues. While the SBI's total principal amount claim of rupees 1,000 crores has been largely settled, financial institutions have also received some money. However, Standard Chartered Bank, which had claimed rupees 500 crore, has yet to recover its dues. It was one of the late claimants. Although the total claim over the Harshad Mehta Group is of more than rupees 20,000 crores, the Apex Code has said that for the present, it would only consider claims towards the principal amount. In conclusion, we can say that Harshad Mehta was a very brave stockbroker. He knew the loopholes in the banking system as well as how to explicit the loopholes. The scandal exposed the loopholes in the Indian banking system and the Bombay Stock Exchange transaction system as well, and consequently, the SEBI introduced new rules to cover these loopholes. Keeping in mind the purchasing power of India during that time, it can be rightly said that the Harshad Mehta scam was the most prominent and the deadliest scandal ever to have happened in India. A majority of people lost their life savings in this scam, and many even tried to commit suicide. From top industrialists to the roadside vendors, whenever the term stock market scandal was used, the name of Harshad Mehta always came into their minds. He became the king of scams. The scam not only shook everyone with its consequences, but also helped in highlighting the loopholes in the banking system and stock markets.